Here they are. The meanest bunch of desperados this side of Sector 10.
Oh, great. Let's do it. Jack, Ryan, you guys go ahead. Lex, you tell your guys to round up the others and keep them out of sight. Surprise is going to be the key.
Wait a minute. What others?
The people, the tribes. You were going to mobilize the people. What are you trying to tell me? This is it? Are you kidding? Lex, we need an army. We need an army, Lex.
Look, you have no idea what we're facing out there. The people don't want to fight. The people want to lie down, roll over, and play dead. I'm lucky I got anyone.
Don't you get it yet? We are going to be massacred.
Welcome to Series 2, Episode 52 of Conversation on the Mountain, a podcast about the tribe. I'm your host, Lance, and joining me in the finale today is Liz.
Hello.
Sabine.
Hi.
Maggie.
Hi.
And Matt.
Hi, everyone.
With episode notes done by both Matt and myself. So Series 2, Episode 52, the screenplay was done by David Fox. It was directed by both John Callan and John Reed. And the episode synopsis read out by Matt.
With the rest of the Mallrats captured, Bray, Lex, Ryan and Jack must come up with a plan and find allies in the city before the Guardian's ultimatum expires. Can they defeat the Chosen for good?
The Supreme Mother asks a restless Guardian what Bray's eventual fate will be. With the city almost completely in his grasp, the Guardian details the ultimatum that he gave to Bray, and that his fate is to end up alongside his brother. With a smile, Trudy seems to take this all very calmly. And your panel, I want to focus on that to start with. What did you make of Trudy in this moment? What's going on in her head? She seemed to take that very calmly.
I don't know. Maybe she still thinks she has a way to talk, you know what I mean, to change it. I don't know.
It's possible she's disassociating at this moment. You
Yeah.
could have, imagine what this moment is like for somebody who has been in such a high stress state of mind this entire time. And it's finally all over. She passed her test as far as she knows. She's back with her daughter. She might be just riding the high in that one frame of mind and isn't really focusing or paying attention. I'm not making excuses for her. I just don't think Trudy is thinking at all about what he just said is going to happen to Bray. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that. For me, it always felt like the moment he said he will be reunited with his glorious brother, we knew what he meant. But I still feel Trudy interpreted it as he will be part of the Chosen.
Yeah, that maybe he would be joining them.
He would be joining
within the
their
Chosen.
ranks,
Yeah.
in their level of ranks, and maybe she just thought she would have him beside her then.
Or maybe she really is crazy and thinks Zoot's coming back. Just saying. Probably not. It's probably what Liz said.
Just not thinking that was actually going to happen,
Right.
Kind of vague enough still, isn't it, that you might have interpreted it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And Trudy tends to interpret it in the way she wants to interpret it.
That is true.
Wait, we can't give her this. No, wait, hold on.
I was like, are you gonna let us? Are you gonna let it slide?
No. We're not gonna let
Always
it
try,
slide. She's fully indoctrinated. She knows the teachings. There's no way she interpreted that as, oh yeah, he joined the fold. She knew that meant death. Like, whether she's disassociating it at the moment because she's focused on Brady is a separate conversation. But she knew what that meant. Come on, guys.
She's a good actress.
Yeah, I think she was just, so self-assured that she would get her way and get him to do what she wanted to happen.
Oh, later on, Trudy's actually very shocked when Bray is so resistant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, she seems really surprised that he's, that's why she lays it on thick that he'd be saving his tribe's life.
Mm-hmm.
And seems so positive that would work.
Yeah.
And then when that doesn't work in future, we'll see that, he falls for the bait at first. And, but then at the last minute says, screw it. Yeah, you guys are on your own, but I can't do this. Look at her face in that. Like, she's genuinely surprised that Bray would put principle above the lives of the other people. So maybe, she's convinced that Bray would never let Danni die, or anybody that he cares about. That he would join. He would do whatever it takes
comply.
to keep
Yeah.
the other people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I am not excusing her headspace, but I wonder if that's why she doesn't seem concerned that Bray could die joining his brother. Because I actually do agree with Lance. I don't think she's confused about that interpretation. I think she understands that if he does not comply, he will be killed. Perhaps she's just convinced that he will comply, because of all the people that Bray cares about. And if there's anything she knows about Bray, as wiffle waffle as he may be, he'll lay down on the wire for the people he cares about. And reluctantly, but he'll do it. And so perhaps she's just convinced that he's going to comply, obviously. It's Bray, and they've got Danni. And as much as she may not like that, it's something she's made peace with. He's got Danni, so he'll definitely do whatever it takes. He's not going to die because Bray's going to do what you guys want. So it could just be a form of denial along with her disassociation.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she's confused as to what the Guardian means.
Yeah, that's very fair. Just to finish that off before we move on, what do you make of the Guardians' kind of not really scared but concern about Bray?
He's wise to be concerned about Bray. Oh my gosh, what Bray could have done if he had ever decided to play the Guardians game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He could have been
The
magnificent.
The threat he could have been. And Jaffa's not dumb. He may be arrogant, his hubris may get him in the end, but he's not stupid. Bray is a concern, and he never looked confident about breaking Bray whatsoever. He was always concerned about him. So it doesn't, it's like he'd be an idiot to not look at Bray and see him as the threat he could be to this entire chosen thing. I mean, imagine if Bray had just said, fine, okay, I'll bend the knee. Sure, I'll worship my brother. I mean, he's as close as you can get to having Zoot back.
He's his bloodline. It would, it would put Jaffa's position in danger.
Very much in danger.
People would start following Bray instead of him.
I don't think that Jaffa would have ever actually allowed him to join them. So, because of that reason, exactly.
Yeah.
He's the wild card, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is, definitely.
He's built up this entire religion around the family of Zoot, and that necessarily includes Bray. So Bray could sort of come in and, do whatever he likes, really.
Do what Bray does.
And he knows Bray is, charismatic. People do tend to follow him, especially women. And it's just Bray is dangerous. And unless he could know 100% for sure that there was a way to control Bray to do his bidding, then he'd be a total idiot not to be scared of him.
I mean, there's a reason his instinct is just to remove the tribal leaders. Whatever disdain Jaffa has for other people, whatever arrogance he has about his own clout and his own power to move people, he is aware that there are people out there more powerful than he is, more influential, more charismatic. People follow them for a reason. They are a threat to him. And the worst threat he could ever bring into the Chosen is Zoot's own brother, the one person who knew him better than anybody alive right now. I mean, Bray could have come in there and just, he would be the silent missile in the water and easily destroy the Chosen by, saying, well, he just start talking about what his brother was like. Just in gentle conversation. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's if Bray was really smart. We know he's not. So
yeah, clearly. We know what he could have been, right?
We know what he could have been.
He could have played this and gotten everyone out safely, by convincing the Chosen of his path instead of the Guardians.
He's the one person who can contradict what Jaffa claims Zoot wants,
and what he was.
What he wanted, how he saw the world, all those things. And he can't control Bray. That's what he's concerned about all the leaders. You know, he wants the people who are, you know, more vulnerable. Yeah, it would be a feather in his cap if he can convert Bray, but he already doubts that about himself.
Yeah, and he's, you know, there's so many people he'd rather have join him that, you know, anyone that dares to stand against him, he sees as worthy to convert to his beliefs. The pushovers, they're just, you know, extras, minions.
Because the only person more powerful in the Chosen than Bray would be is Brady. But Brady's not an issue. She's literally being raised by this cult. You know, so she'd be raised to do whatever they wanted. Jaffa's not concerned about her, you know, but Bray is a grown-ass adult.
I was just thinking, Ebony wishes she was in that position because when she tried to like play up that she was Zoot's woman, but didn't go anywhere.
Yep.
But if she could have, she had Bray's clout, it would have gone a long way.
Hey, come on. Don't turn away. Can't you guys see what's going on here? I need your help. Why? Because I've got your girlfriend?
Yeah, more rats only look after themselves.
Come back. Come back. Please, come back. Please!
Meanwhile, knowing that they're outnumbered, Lex attempts to drum up support among the city folk, but he only manages to bring back a handful, most of which are quick to run off when Bray scares them with his pessimistic view of their chances. Bray then has a go himself, but he's met with skepticism at the Morats' motives. He doesn't give up, however, and gathers another group and appeals instead to their self-preservation. So what did you make of both Lex and Bray's different attempts to win over new allies, and are you surprised at all at the refusals?
Oh, they had so many good points. Because, why would we help the mole rats? Mole rats only look after themselves.
They're a-holes.
Yeah.
No offense, Matt.
This really annoyed me. I mean, granted, there's some things that I think are really good about these two scenes. You know, the differences in Lex and Bray's approaches, the positives and the negatives about how they approach people, what they say to people, you know, where you have Lex who plays on the vulnerability of feeling weak or being called a chicken, like you're Marty McFly or something, that's your weak spot or whatever. And how that would not be effective for everybody, because not everybody cares if you think they're a coward. They're just like, whatever, you're right, I'm out, you know? And then you have Bray's bleeding heart approach, where it's just like he gives people more optimism in a way. But what I never liked about it was Lex did bring people.
Yeah.
And instead of showing an ounce of gratitude and like assessing the situation that, okay, he did get some people, but Lex tells him, you have no idea what we're facing out there. People don't want to fight. And instead of being like, okay, assessing that and recognizing, what does he do? He insults Lex's efforts and then goes into full despair in front of these kids who are hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
And scares them off. And Lex is like, what the frick? You know how long it took me to drum up that lot? And I don't like the way, you know, Bray goes out there like he can do better. And then the narrative paints it like he could. I'm sorry. The Bray I've seen for season 2 couldn't have done any better than Lex.
No.
Okay.
Lex is more effective. At least he finds people.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that last minute Bray is a hero. And it's like, I've watched him for a whole season, you guys. It's too late to suddenly, you know, paint him as this great rallying point for people, you know, and like that he could go out there and do a much better job and get the people to come and fight the Chosen. And it's like, I just feel like Lex was a better choice to get people to fight. And I didn't like it. I didn't like...
Well...
I mean, Lex calls out the guys who want to be tough, who want to be known as tough, and gets them. Bray just finds the people who are too scared to say no to him.
That, and I mean, it's Bray, right? So, of course, like, he's got to be the hero, and for reasons that I won't say.
It reminds me too much of in the last episode where Danni's conversation with the Guardian would have been better if Danni had actually fought for all the things that she was standing for in that moment. Yeah. But we watched her for a whole season not doing those things and being not that much better than the Guardian in many ways. So it was like this conversation could have been great, but it's not, because I know you, Danny. I watched you for 52 freaking episodes. And so you standing here as this like pillar of righteousness ain't working for me. And so I think that's why Bray going out there and he's the one who succeeds in getting fighters. And apparently his fighters are better than Lex's. And I'm just like, I watched you for 52 episodes. This isn't working for me. You know, you guys are trying to use this Hail Mary attempt to sell these two characters as leaders, and it's not working because I just watched them fail at it drastically for a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I still don't get why Bray thought this would work. Why him literally begging people to help him would work after, he and Danny have been the faces of everything that went wrong in this city over the past couple of months, If these kids think about who lied to them, they think Bray and Danny lied to us about so many different things. If they think about Lex, they might wonder if he's the guy that actually killed Billy Boy. So if they're gonna fight someone, who'd they choose to fight with? The guy who has the reputation to be, the bad guy who's good in a fight, or the whiny boy who just begs for help because he doesn't think he can do it on his own.
I mean, it's Ray. It's Bray.
Yeah, that makes so much more sense.
That's all I got.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Of course, yeah. You know what? Suddenly, everything makes sense to me. Like, of course, the self-insert character succeeded.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and of course, he didn't have to do anything of substance up until that point, right? Except claim the glory. It's fine.
Oh no. Okay, you guys decide. Who would you rather have, like, fighting with you? Would you rather have kids who they may not be smart, but they're brave? They're like, yeah, I'm not taking this lying down. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And that's what Lex brought in.
Yeah.
Or would you rather a bunch of people who just felt bad for Bray's bleeding heart? Please help me save my girlfriend.
No. Team Lex for sure in this situation.
I'd be on Team Lex in this.
And they were just like, okay, he looks so sad and pathetic. Okay, I can't even throw a punch, but I just feel bad for him. So it's like, no wonder you guys lost. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think Lex definitely did the better job, and started insulting everyone, but, Lex is Lex.
Yeah.
What I would have loved to see, though, actually, because, Lex had, the lay of the land, right? He understood what everyone was thinking. But, Bray had all the, oratory and everything. To see them, working together on it. Because there are some really good scenes in this episode of the two of them working together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can, if they're desperate enough.
Yeah. And they were desperate, let's face it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they make a great team when they can put their egos and their pride aside.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to think, when was the last time we've seen Bray and Lex be a team? Like, really?
I'm just glad we are, and we're going to get to see more, kind of,
I was going to say season 2, episode 1, when
yeah, that's probably
Lex
your episode. Yeah.
Lex made sure Bray got out of the building and
then told him
about Amber.
It was Ryan who got him out of the building.
Right, but that's the...
Yeah, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
You see what I mean? They've not really been much of a team.
No. That's why it's nice to see it.
It would have been, like I mentioned, it would have been a nice moment to have for both of them to have gone together and succeeded, but yeah.
And I think a better way of getting people together as well than sort of, Bray's kind of what he ended up with.
I have to say, though, I still think Ryan had a very sane point in telling the boys that are they really going to want to fight for us?
For real.
Yeah, Ryan was definitely the voice of reason there.
Yeah.
I think Ryan would have been much more effective person to go out there and find people to fight.
Look, guys, I know we suck, but
we can rarely ever let Ryan shine, so of course they're not going to put Ryan out there, but that would have been far more interesting and might have been more effective and a better use of your characters than just having Bray and Lex, measuring against each other.
In the game, they call Ryan slow. Like they just legitimately refer to him as slow. And this is very disappointing because I don't think he is slow. I just think he's not as assertive as the others.
Yeah, but he sees everything and he notices things, you know.
Yeah. That's what I mean. He's not dumb.
And he can, see where the city kids are coming from.
Yeah, the mall rats suck.
Yeah, and unlike, Lex, who thinks that everyone should be a fighter like him, or Bray, who thinks that if you ask nicely enough, people will help you change the world, Ryan is more realistic.
Yeah.
He's the only one to ask, why would they? So yeah, their best tactic would have been sending Ryan out there. They might have gotten more people that way.
And I suppose with the way these characters have been written, this was the most realistic outcome for their behavior, as disappointing as it is. And, it totally makes sense that this is Bray and Lex would be fighting at each other and completely at odds over each other's methods, and that Bray would be having a meltdown because the light of his life is in danger, and that's all he cares about.
And that's what
the
Bray
light
does.
of his life. God.
And of course, he could never just compliment Lex and say, "Hey, thanks for getting some extra hands."
Of course
I'll see. Well, can you watch things here? Well, I try and get some extra hands. Because we're gonna need a few more. And be a leader like he's supposed to be. But this is what they would do, I guess. Let's not give Ryan anything useful to do because none of us respect him. And Jack, press some buttons over here. That's why we keep you around. And
it's sad.
And then that comment to Jack, where, after what you did with Wolf, we just figured we'd let you have it.
Too soon.
You're blooded now, Jack. This is your fight. Jack's like, I'm still digesting that heart I ate. So I'll sit this one out.
When he, was talking about his relationship with Ellie, this wasn't the next step he thought about.
Nope.
Risking his life for her like this.
And in that process, killing the guy he was afraid would steal his girlfriend.
Yeah, no, this wasn't the plan. Eliminating the competition
escalated quickly.
Yes, it did. How does he explain that one away? It wasn't because I was jealous. I promise. Did he actually is he dead for sure?
Oh, totally. Did you see that fall?
I guess I didn't. I
mean, if Zoot's dead, then Wolf's dead.
And I'm not going to say his name.
Zoot's fall was convincing.
That was convincing, yeah. That's why I'm like, okay, confirmation. That makes sense.
He even did acrobatics as he flipped over that railing. He did some Cirque du Soleil stuff before he landed.
He sure thought he was going to make it. Fall. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I've never liked falling down the stairs and being dead storylines.
That's what I'm just like, do we know for sure? Because really break his neck? Is he a goner?
I have fallen down the stairs spectacularly so many times without killing myself that, you'd think a guy like Wolf could take that few steps down.
You would think he would know how to fall down some steps properly. Come on, dude. This is his fault.
Achilles heel, okay?
Stairs, okay.
Stairs.
We should have known the whole time. Maybe none of this would have ever happened.
Wouldn't this been an interesting angle to take Jack's development and storyline, to have him, his conscience, fighting with what he's done?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You don't get any of that at all.
Yeah, no.
Would have been nice to see.
Maybe that's why I wasn't convinced he was dead. I don't know. Or I just didn't care about it. I don't know.
I don't know if they're trying to imply that Wolf was dead. He's just defeated.
Yes.
He's just disarmed.
That's what I took from it too. Is that he was, and then he retreated back to his den with his tail between his legs,
like a good little wolf would.
Yes.
We never see him ever again.
I mean, it would have helped. They could have shown some resolution, like them tying him up or something, because obviously he still could be a threat to you or whatever. He could run back to the Chosen, and well, then again, and they already clearly knew where these guys were because they dropped Wolf off there. So
yeah,
I mean, but still, just a smart person would be like, let's just secure him so he can't be any more trouble for us.
But we know that the people in charge at the moment are not that smart, especially in situations like this.
True. They probably just walked away like, okay, that's handled.
That's handled, yeah. Give Jack a pat on the back, like, good job, bud.
Bray's here. Soon. The Guardian gave him till noon to surrender, or you'll die. And you know what Bray's like. He's far too gallant to ignore a damsel in distress. Unless it's you.
So, Trudy sends for Danni, informing her of the Guardian's ultimatum to Bray and taunting her by bringing up Amber, before Danni quips back about Bray's failure to rescue her from the Chosen. And yeah, I thought this was a really interesting scene. What did you make of this exchange, and what exactly was Trudy's motivation in sending for Danni here?
Interesting. That's your description of the scene. It was magnificent. I think this is one of the only times where I'm like, you go, Danni.
Yep.
Like this is amazing.
I always hate people going after Trudy, but in this moment, I'm Team Danni.
Yeah, like that's totally fair. No lies detected.
But nope. And I get why Trudy wanted, to rub it into Danni with oh yeah, we're using you as bait, and you do realize Bray was only with you because you remind him of Amber. You're just a replacement, because that's how she sees Danni, as the girl Bray took up with because Amber was gone.
I think it's a very perceptive scene, and I think the point is to remind us of what led Trudy down this path in the first place. And I think they do it with some really clever and fun, catty dialogue. Everything makes sense here. It's a very highly motivated scene. It makes sense to me that Trudy would want to show off her position.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
one of the people she wants to show off is a young woman she is deep down desperately jealous of, envious of, resentful of. From the moment Bray, it's like, Bray, I took my eyes off you for 6 hours and you came home with another woman, for Christ's sake.
6 hours, Bray.
Yeah,
and
you're supposed to be grieving.
You were about to abandon all of us, I last time I saw you, we were talking at a gravesite, and you were ready to walk away from everyone, including your niece, because you were grieving so hard. And then you changed your mind because it's what Amber would have wanted. It's what Amber would have done. And then I don't see you again, and you came back with her. Like, this was my chance to be your friend, to console you, to be there for you, and you went out and found someone new. That's how bad it is. That's how bad our relationship is. And she's just been hovering over you like a golem this entire time. Of course, Trudy resents Danni with the fire of 1,000 suns. I mean, at least Amber, she liked Amber.
Yeah, that was easier to swallow.
She could handle Bray's attraction to Amber, because she was like, I like her too. You know what I mean? Amber's a decent person. It's hard not to love her.
If you have to lose to someone,
lose to a friend, but still.
Right. And Danni, it's just like, ugh. The only thing he could possibly like about you is that you're somewhat like Amber, but you'll never be her. I get her wanting to show off. And you're like, look at me lounging, like a Roman goddess right now. And I did like Danny's line, but I thought it was more than just her being catty. It's reminding the audience what the Mallrats did. Bray can't resist a damsel in distress unless it's you. And it just really hits home. That of all the people he should have cared about, that he should have rescued, she's the one person that he just didn't. It's like, guys, if anybody needed a reminder of why Trudy ended up going down this path, why she was so vulnerable to the Chosen, why she finds some enjoyment in her friend's downfall, it's because of that.
Yep.
It's a good scene.
Yeah, Danny reminded her, nobody cares. Nobody cares about Trudy, and Danny managed to remind her of that.
I actually felt a little personally offended. I was like, okay, writers, jeez.
But it felt so on point for these two.
It's such a way to tell your audience that you do not care about a character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that was cold. That was ice cold. Of course, it was delivered beautifully. I mean, Ella, I'm impressed. It was a really great comeback.
And the look she had with it, she nailed that.
And I mean, it was deserved in this moment. It was certainly deserved, considering what Trudy's just done and how people feel about her at the moment. they're upset. They're not able to really think around that. But yeah, it's a punch in the teeth. Reminder of how Trudy has been treated by her own family.
Is there any chance, do we think, maybe somewhere deep down, buried somewhere, that Trudy might have been trying to give some sort of warning? Trying to say what the Guardian's plan was?
Ah.
I don't think she was thinking of it in that way. I mean, I don't know. You could be right. I mean, it's really hard to know what's going through Trudy's head right now.
This is true.
Because she's doing so much posturing right now, and...
Yeah, but you make a good point with that, because, after what the Guardian told her, it could be, and she can't be obvious about it. She can't go to the Mallrats with a, "Oh, please help. You're our only hope at saving Bray." She can't do that, so
That is interesting.
taunting Danni like this is an appropriate way for her to do so, but...
Maybe the only other person who could maybe come up with something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Never thought about it that way, but yeah, you do have a point. It could be.
I don't personally think it is. I think she is just performing right now, showing off the information she has. She's the one who knows what's going on. And, since Danni has always been a control freak and needs to know everything, it could be just a moment of hubris without realizing that Danni could use this information. Now that she knows what's going on. You're too busy showing off. You just needed her to see you in this elevated position. So it could just be a moment of foolishness on Trudy's part, because she is showing off. But I personally don't think Trudy did it in any way to warn Danni or to give her friends a chance, because I still think Trudy's just convinced they're gonna roll with the punches regardless. But that's just a personal thing.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
At least we're all together. Look at Salene and Tyson. They don't even know if their husbands are dead or alive.
She's meditating. This is no time to meditate.
I'd have thought it was a perfect time.
If she cared about him, if she really loved him, she'd go and knock the door down and go out and find him.
I thought you two had worked things out.
Sure, we have.
But you're still jealous of her.
I am not jealous. I'm just worried about Lex, that's all.
Fine. Go break down the door and get us out of here.
So, in captivity at the hotel, Alice is feeling rather annoyed at the helplessness of the Mallrats' situation. She gets wound up that Tyson is meditating rather than trying to escape and find Lex, to which Eddie perceptively replies that Alice isn't doing that either. Later, Alice and Tyson do talk, with Alice saying that maybe she would have been better off having left with Ebony, whilst Tyson explains her attraction to Lex. So yeah, what did you make of what was going on there, panel?
I did really like this scene. It feels so in character, so genuine for both of them to respond that way, because, of course he's annoyed that the woman that is supposed to love Lex is just sitting there calmly when she can't think about sitting calmly herself. But on the other hand, Tyson, being so upset and doing what she obviously would do in a situation like that, because there is no way out. She's meditating, hoping to, get enough rest in her head to calm down her worries so she can be of any use in helping later. And then, I always like the fact that Tyson is just, talking to Alice again, telling her how she feels, and Alice simply responding with, we might make a human out of you yet.
It is a really great scene. I love the visual too. The last time these girls were really, really talking to each other, really allowing, being honest, they had very similar looks. And so you got the visual of them trying to meet in the same place emotionally, trying to connect. And if you look at them here, their looks could not be any more different, and I think it speaks to it's like a visual representation of the emotional separation between them now, and that they may never meet there again. And I like Alice's despondent, I mean, I don't think she's genuinely like, gee, wish I'd gone with Ebony and not tried to save my sister, but just expressing like, wow, this sucks, Maybe I would have been better off. But it also almost speaks to sort of a resentment in that moment that she's sitting there with Tysan. You know, it's almost code for how difficult this is to be around you. I'm trying, but it's still really hard to be around you. And being locked up with you guys in a room reminds me why I had to leave the mall, you know, and hang out with Ebony, because it's just really hard to be here with you guys. And I do like that Tysan doesn't take offense to that. And it's just, again, this is a place where she can be vulnerable with this person. And she hasn't lost those feelings for Alice. And it's just a very gracious scene of this beautiful friendship that we know got shattered through nobody's real fault. And Alice doesn't really get over it. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
She'll have problems with Tysan forever. You know, it'll always be hard for her to look at Tysan the same, trust Tysan.
Yeah.
She will in future take some cheap shots of, and you'll get these images. You'll realize how she still feels about Tysan, even though she's trying to be the bigger person. It's a complicated emotional relationship she has with her now. You know, I care about you, but you two-faced snake. You know, it's like that. She's constantly having to battle that when she looks at Tysan. It's not easy for her. Shame it was never mended.
Jack, are you sure this is going to work? I mean, we don't want to burn the place down.
Yeah, well, we'll soak the sex just enough so they smoke rather than burn.
Where do we put them?
The outlet for the ventilation system on the roof. That's the best place.
Jack, tell me honestly. I mean, what are our chances here?
Well, I put mine at about 90%, and I'm not so sure about yours.
Don't get cocky.
So yeah, just a few things to go over there, panel. What did you make of the plan itself to smoke the Chosen out, and the rescue attempt?
I'm just glad they actually utilized Jack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, used one of his strengths, thinking things through. I actually like this scene. I think it was a clever way. It was a clever comeback. It's a false hope that's, you know, that you need. And I thought that was great. It's like the beginning of the third act, which is usually the triumphant return, you know, after everything fell apart in the second act. And so it almost gives you the illusion that they're not everything's lost. They might come back from this. They got the Mallrats out. Yes, the Mallrats are united. Danny's not dead. Some people would be happy about that, you know, and, and so it's like, oh, okay. Just saying, you know, it's a moment of, okay, all the things that Jaffa was just threatening have not come to pass for our Mallrats. It's a good scene. And it's a clever plan. I liked that plan. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, and then the Chosen immediately ran away. Now that should be a red flag, but I can understand people. I could understand young viewers being like, "Yes, they're gonna get away. They're gonna do this. They're gonna figure it out. As long as the Mallrats are together, you know, they're gonna do this." And I actually was like, "Yes, chase them down and beat them." That was what you did wrong before. You let them go, you moron. You know, and this is what happened. So I thought that was a nice moment of, we've learned from our mistakes. We've got to defeat them. Bray realizing these Chosen aren't going to go away. We got to finish this, you know? And it was like a little too late, but wise, you know? I liked it.
But to follow them to the beach again.
I like
again.
Oh, but come on. I'm just so happy they gave Jack something like this to do. And they even grabbed back to former episodes, and Jack just, telling them, look, I made a layout out of the hotel because he's been there. He's been spying on Ebony for so long. He knows where things are, how things work in that hotel. So, yeah, he gets to be useful for once.
Mm-hmm.
And they let him.
Well, because they're not useful. It's fine.
Pretty much.
I mean...
Yeah, but
they can pretend all they want, but you can only fake it so long.
Yeah, but normally they won't give him the credit for things like that, and they won't let him have the plan and follow it.
Mm-hmm.
After all of the stuff that happened with Wolf in the previous episode, I think he needed like a win that was separate from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thing in his own wheelhouse.
Something where he uses his brains.
Yeah.
And it was truly a clever plan, make them think that everything's on fire. Smoke draws people out. It makes people likely to flee.
Yeah.
Especially if they think a place like that's going to be, bursting with flames soon.
I even think it makes sense that they're so high on the fact that they succeeded that they do not recognize the red flag of the Chosen evacuating so purposefully.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think anything of that. They're like, let's just chase them down. And it's just like, even then, it makes sense that they don't recognize this could be a trap.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are just way too well organized in this situation. They've captured all the city leaders. They didn't rescue anyone but the Mallrats. We still don't know where everybody else is being held. It's like, even that I don't blame them for not
there
recognizing those things.
They don't know which tribes have, bent the knee, if you will. Like, they don't know which ones have turned, which ones are siding with the Chosen now. Like, they know nothing other than this is where the Mallrats are. We got to get them out.
I get that, but someone like Jet was right next to Danni just seconds before this moment. You'd think they'd at least try. Because they had been watching when they were, kneeling with Danni in the previous part. And yeah, I just don't get it. Where did those leaders go? They didn't vanish into quick air. They didn't run.
Oh,
So
we know
what
where
happened?
they went.
Yeah, we know. But, in this moment, the Mallrats don't know. And these people were right there.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, they only care about the Mallrats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been firmly established.
Which is, and once again, the city kids are right. Why should we help you fight? Mallrats and will look after themselves.
I'm be honest. I'm not surprised at which tribes, did. Like, I'm not surprised they pledged fealty or whatever.
Yeah.
Although, in fairness, I think if the idea was to sort out the Chosen, then there would be time for all of the rest of it after that.
Yeah.
I do think it's implied that they rescued more than the Mallrats. I just don't think it's filmed. The Mallrats aren't the only ones who got out of the building, weren't the only ones let out of the building, because very quickly after the Mallrats have reunited by the pool and everything's all smoky, even though the Mallrats are the only ones we see, when they discuss splitting up so they can go after the Chosen, we see Lex, when he's getting the go-kart, he's surrounded by people who seem to be in on this. We'll meet you at the beach. We're all going to do this together.
Yeah.
And we do see them on the beach fighting with more than just the Mallrats.
Yes.
We see Jet is there. So I think it's implied they rescued everyone from the hotel. They just didn't film it well enough to make that clear.
Okay.
That they got everybody out of the hotel.
Don't worry.
I think that's implied, but I just don't think the shots they got make that very clear. You just sort of have to keep things together. Like, they had to have gotten everyone else because they're all there on the beach. It's not just the Mallrats, it's other tribes who are joining them to this fight. So they had to have gotten all these people out and stuff. Yeah, I think they got everyone out. We just saw them rescue the Mallrats, but they clearly opened some other doors. You guys, don't worry, it's not a real fire. Come on.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's a fun moment of triumph. It's, yay, okay, they're all working together. They're all happy to see each other. It's a really cool moment.
Yeah.
Fault high. I like it as for what it is. I don't think I would have liked it if we didn't get the ending that we get.
Yeah.
I would have been like, are you freaking serious? You guys got to do all this crap and this is how you won? I would have been pissed. I would have been so mad.
But, still, they had their little win, and nobody seems to care about one of their own not being around. Just going, Ryan, he should be around somewhere.
Somewhere.
I'm gonna give that a pass because this is supposed to be a chaotic scene.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be smoke everywhere. You're just trying to get everyone out of the building. There's not an actual fire. And you also know the last time you saw Ryan, he was dressed as a Chosen. So you're probably thinking he's safe. He would blend in if anything went awry. The last place you saw him was on the roof. I don't think they can be called out as just not giving a crap. Because when they want to show these guys don't give a crap, they're very obvious about it. So I think this is like one of those things where it's like, it's a fair assessment to think Ryan's fine. You know, he's around here somewhere. He's just disguised as a chosen, you know.
Also, do you see Jack shoving that person in the pool? That's like definitely a taste for violence there.
Well, see, he learned all you have to do is shove, and that's how you win.
Yep.
I mean, could they swim? Do we know?
Skill unlocked.
It's got to be done.
Racking up the body count.
Who knows? Maybe the guy looked at Ellie once.
That's it.
And yeah, let's talk about that Ryan scene.
Ryan, please forgive me. I've been so awful to you. I've lied, cheated, but I'll make it up to you, I promise. Please, Ryan, wake up. I'm gonna have our baby.
No.
I know, I don't want to, but let's get it out the way. It's the last for season 2. So
For season 2.
for now. In the aftermath of the battle, a worried Salene hunts for Ryan and finds him unresponsive. And she apologizes for all that she has done to him and tells him that she's having their baby. At which point he miraculously comes to. So, panel, after the whole saga of seeing Ryan in season 2, were you convinced at all by Salene here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. She was very worried she would have had to raise this baby on her own. You know, that was what she was worried about, not about Ryan. You know, poor Ryan. I don't want you to die. No, poor Ryan. I need you to be alive because, you know, I'm having your baby, so I need you to be alive, okay?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I got from it. She's genuinely upset. She's genuinely concerned. Just not about him.
Right.
About what it would mean if he's not there to take care of her.
I can't do this without you. It's fine.
That's the only reason I went through this farce of a marriage, and I'm making both of us miserable because I need you to raise our sprog, even though you would have anyway. Anyway. Not gonna go there. All right.
And the only reason she says, Ryan, please forgive me, is for her own conscience.
Oh, for sure.
Which, to be fair, I'm surprised. Apparently she has one.
Come on, he's unconscious. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, this is the only time she's truly going to apologize is when he probably can't hear her. You know? She thinks he might be dead. Of course she's going to be just blurting out all of her fears of this is the karma I've brought on myself and what am I gonna do? I went through all of this trouble to trap you into this marriage and now you're gonna die. Like, come on. I'm sorry. That's exactly what narcissists usually do. You know? And
don't you die on me because I still need you.
Yeah.
I need you. I'm sorry. Whatever it takes. I'm sorry about your eye. I'm sorry. Don't leave.
It's gross. I don't like
Please don't leave me. You know?
But people would call this scene romantic, and that bothers me.
Yeah, but I mean, and it is so in character, though.
It is. Oh yeah, no, this is so them. Both of them.
Oh yeah, Ryan just hearing
that was
baby,
so
baby,
Ryan.
my baby.
Yeah, like that was absolutely.
I mean,
he has just taken a blow to the head lately.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's definitely him to be like, oh, you said I'm baby, huh? Okay, I'm awake now, right?
Baby,
it's like
baby?
Bray
Where's the baby?
Or Ebony and being brought out of her stupor by Bray, right?
Bray's hurt?
Yeah, exactly, yes.
I hate this trope, but yeah, I can't stand.
Yep, that's what they do.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that it's filmed so romantically.
Right.
This is a good moment between the two of them. Because the way it's filmed, it's filmed as though she's truly pouring her heart out and she's remorseful and Ryan waking up is the miracle of their relationship. And it's like, Ryan, you'd be better off, no offense, if you just kept playing dead.
I mean,
I wish I could. You really would. You'd be way better off if you just laid there and kept your eyes closed. Who knows what else she might confess, Ryan?
Yeah, it's true.
She only would have cried real tears for someone else if the guy knocked out would have been Bray.
Yeah, it's just the only problem with the scene is the way the narrative just does try to play it as though it's a romantic scene with the music, and like this is a great reconciliation for these two.
No.
Their relationship's going to be great now, guys.
Oh God!
If only.
Oh, sorry to burst that bubble.
She told him about the baby, and now they're gonna live happily ever after, guys.
How many
Again,
episodes?
it's meant.
How many episodes do we get?
It's meant to be the false high. Everything's going to be great now. We got our friends at the hotel. Salene is upset that Ryan could be dead and he's not, and yay for them. And the false high. We're winning. And it's all fake. They've won nothing. Salene and Ryan are not going to be okay.
No.
Nope.
No. Thing to do. Sorry for my language.
I just got this image of the writers knowing they're playing with the hearts of their young viewers.
Oh, this is going to get them good.
This is going to get them so good. Because I've had those moments as a writer where I know, oh my gosh, I know how the reader's going to respond to this.
Oh yeah.
And I know that I'm in the background waiting to pull the rug out.
Yes, Liz. Yes.
Yes. That's what you do, Liz.
I made you love this character. Now watch them die.
How dare you? Too soon.
Maggie, it's been years.
Nope, never.
Yeah, this was definitely some Martin level kind of like Game of Thrones kind of messing with you, right?
Yes.
There's like a level of sadism in this.
Like, isn't it beautiful?
But this is the only way it could go. This is what we've been building up to the whole season.
How is it possible? Zoot's blood in your veins, and yet you have no vision.
Vision. We have a vision.
So after being confronted on the beach, the Guardian goads Bray, telling him to kill him, but Patsy throws sand at him and he's mocked instead. That is, of course, until the chosen reinforcements arrive, prompting another battle in which the Mallrats are overpowered. Focus on that. What did you make of the battle on the beach?
Patsy.
I cheered for Patsy. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "You go, girl!" I would have kicked sand in his face. I would. It's fine. Now
she could have had better aim.
the reinforcements coming in it definitely explained why they were all so calm. You know, I'm not surprised. They've been out gathering troops. They've been out gathering a following this whole time. And they've got the Mallrats exactly where they want them.
And it was so creepy, like the echoes of them chanting on the cliff.
And just look at the variety of tribes that.
Yes, I was just gonna say that. Did you guys try to pick out which tribes they had?
Yeah,
so
many, even from far outside the city.
I love it. I love this setup so well, even before we realize that the Chosen clearly have a plan.
Yeah.
I love it because even in this moment, I don't feel like this was like my first time watching this. This was my first red flag. Something's wrong. One, again, you guys were talking about the Chosen being so calm. They were not concerned at all that they were cornered. They put their back to the beach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they are not in a disadvantaged position. And the Mallrats have left their backs completely open to anybody. It was the way the Mallrats were responded to having the Chosen. They don't have a plan. They don't know what to do with these guys.
Nope.
They're just like, okay, well, we got you. You're defeated. What were the Chosen supposed to put their weapons down or something? Is that what they were expecting them to do? They're sitting here with sharpened swords shaped like Z's, and the Mallrats have bow staffs. If there's a fight, you guys are going to take way more hit damage than the Chosen.
Yeah.
And so already I was like, oh, you guys, I feel like this is a trap. There's something not right about this. This is like the 300 up against the Persians.
Yeah.
And The Chosen are the 300. Like, come at us. Like,
Josh pointed out that the Chosen are like the first ones that have real weapons.
Yeah.
And
I'm
real
like,
could kill you weapons.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Guardian talking to Bray, and I'm like, wow, you guys are unmatched. You don't know what to do with these guys.
Nope.
Unless they give up, you don't know what to do with them.
You're not going to kill them.
You're not going to kill them.
He knows Bray will never kill someone, not
Yeah.
willingly. I mean, he wasn't able to even make the decision to let the Guardian kill Lex to save Trudy. Come on. He knows it's not in his character.
Then you have Lex, who's watching. I still don't know what that plan originally was. Lex alone in the go-kart. I don't know what the plan was.
The plan went as it was supposed to. Thank you.
But I love when Lex notices, like he hears something. Like at first he's like, "Oh yeah, they got him. They got him on the beach. Way to go, Bray!" And then you see, like he notices something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then all those beautiful, colorful robes, the creepy vans showing up. Oh yay, the van! Yes. The van deserves a credit. I'm just saying. I love all the colorful robes. I love that you see clearly kids eagerly joining in on this who've been recruited in this whole time, who've been won over. They don't even have chosen robes and they're here to fight. This was filmed really well.
Four-wheelers, the motorbikes, you know.
This was very unsettling, very creepy, the way they just came out, not Lord of the Rings, but Lord of the Flies style. That I would be scared. I could run. I'd be so scared I'd mindlessly run into the ocean. Like
I was slightly scared for all the kids on the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, no, that's creepy. Them up. Yeah, no, all of it was very well done.
It's a really great scene of their yeah. Of course you didn't win. There was no way you were going to win. You've been sitting there. This stuff has been growing. This is mold in the walls at this point.
This is what you get for doing absolutely nothing.
You know, and it's all just come home to roost in this moment. That impending doom all these kids suddenly have as they realize we thought we had them on the ropes, but no, we just got lured into a trap. And they can do nothing but look around. It's like, what's happening? And it's like, it's been happening for a really long time, guys. You know,
that's
what's been happening.
Oh, we effed up moment.
Oh, it's really like, I mean, I imagine it was a gut punch to a lot of viewers who didn't realize this is where it was going.
Yeah.
Like, what? No!
Who still believed in the Mallrats, who still looked at them as the good guys.
Right. But for me, it was satisfying.
Yes.
Because I didn't think they were. I was like, oh, yes, you so deserve this. This is what you've had coming this whole season.
It's the culmination of everything, wasn't it?
Everything. Everything they made us sit through.
Yeah. All the tribes, you know, the distrust or the mistrust that they built within the city and the tribes within the city and seeing how easy it was for some of them to be won over. And we're like, yeah, we'll go for the Mallrats. Absolutely. Like, yeah, it was definitely satisfying.
It's one of the most satisfying twists. I mean, it's not really a twist in many cases because it's like, this was inevitable. The Chosen were not going to be defeated with a bit of sand. Bless your heart, Patsy.
And if you throw sand, throw at the eyes. Come on.
They weren't going to go out like that, you know. They would have been. It would have, if they had beat the Chosen right now. This whole season would have felt completely pointless.
Yeah.
And I will give the writers credit for like going for this. Like they knew this is where they were going, and they pulled the trigger. They didn't back out. They didn't suddenly let the Mallrats be saviors. They were like, no, they're going to have to earn their way back. This was all about their fall. This entire season was about them falling.
Their rise, their fall, all of it. Yep.
This was the Empire Strikes Back for young kids. But yeah, it's very satisfying and it's well deserved, and it brings the entire season together.
Yeah.
I don't think the season would have worked without this sort of ending. And what I really love is that the Mallrats did this to themselves.
Yep.
This wasn't done to them, you know, like they brought upon their own destruction. And even up to the end, they were blind to that.
Yeah.
Had no clue. Just sitting in the keep. The 1%ers shocked at the revolution.
Yes.
I'm not saying they deserve to lose their heads over this, but you know, I can see why so many people do think they deserve to lose their heads over this.
Yeah, not all of them.
Yeah, just to finish that up, like, what did you make of the fight itself? Like,
Oh,
Okay.
God.
It has
Okay.
moments.
The
At
fights are
least-
just like any other fight, right? Like it's okay. This is where we're at.
the epic
Yeah.
finale. Like, were you impressed at all?
I'm at
Alice.
least glad I saw Alice knock people
Yeah.
down.
Alice was good. I was good
That
with
was it,
her.
innit? Yeah, just nice.
Yeah. Alice did some damage.
I like the chaos of it all. I think that worked really
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like that Chloe tried to run away with the dog.
The dog. I'm like, yes, get Cloudy out of there. Get out of there.
I was very disappointed with Tysan.
Oh, yeah.
I guess she's still charging up her
Yeah,
batteries.
where did that kid go?
Like, what the? We don't even see Tysan fight anybody. Like, she doesn't. She literally, someone grabbed her by the shoulder and she's behaving as though her hands were tied. And I was
Yeah.
like, you kicked Zandra in the face.
Yeah, you did.
You know, we saw Alice twirling those sticks. We've seen Tysan do that. She knows how to use one. Like,
She
that's
is
actually-
married now. She is married now to a strong man, and she cannot be seen doing such things.
It's so
She
weird.
literally just told her husband yesterday, you know I can look after myself. No wonder he didn't want to leave you. No wonder he didn't want to leave you to your own devices, Tysan. This is
You
why.
lied.
You transferred your power over to him and now you're useless.
Useless.
What is it with women giving their power to the men? Like,
She cut her hair.
Yeah.
oh yeah, she did. She chopped it
Cut her
off.
hair.
Yeah, I was so disappointed with her. I was like, you can't show Tysan using one of those skills that you spent an entire season building up.
Yeah.
Just one.
It's very strange. I don't understand it. It's that they've just taken it away from her. They don't want her to have it back. It's weird. I don't know. I don't understand why.
She used to be both Zen and Kung Fu, and now she's like,
She's supposed to.
I don't have that in me anymore. Like, you don't even know your own characters. No wonder
No.
she has this unearned reputation.
Yeah. Well, that was so disappointing.
And Jack was fighting.
Yeah.
And Tysan
Matt
was
was
just
right.
like,
Matt was right. Jack got a taste for blood, and now he's like,
Yeah, but
would have killed
we
Guardian.
did see Dal attempting.
oh my gosh. I saw Danni throwing punches. Danni!
Yeah.
Danny, where's your crossbow? She has a proper weapon too. Where's her crossbow?
And why hasn't anyone used it until now? You know?
Well, I mean,
It was just for show, you guys.
no, we see it eventually again, but it's
It's not the same one. It's just
it's not the
crossbow.
same one.
It's not the same one.
Hmm.
She was living in a museum. It was a prop.
It was a prop.
Nah, I do like the scene for the chaos, like Matt said.
Mhm.
I like how chaotic it feels. You feel like what they must feel with all this happening around them. You can't wrap your head around it. You can't think. You can't get away. There's nowhere to run. You know, they're coming at you from all sides. Even the color palette is chaotic, which I really love, you know, and
Yeah.
you don't know who is friend or foe at
Right.
this point. You're just running wild and being overwhelmed. It's like an ant battle. It works visually for the most part.
It looks like what a street fight would look like in a city full of abandoned kids.
But the screaming of the girls.
Dude, they like to use that scream track, okay? That is one of their favorites. That is the alarm, isn't it? The alarm system for them all. Like,
It's their personal Wilhelm scream.
yeah.
And I like it. I would be very disappointed if it wasn't in a fight.
Yeah. I pointed it out a couple times.
But come on, at least show one of the boys screaming like little girls.
Nope.
I still think the fight at the tribal gathering was done better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this one's not that terrible, especially since they're meant to lose. So
Yeah, I was gonna say they weren't allowed to win this one, no.
Yeah.
I wonder if as well part of the issue was that there's so much crammed into this episode that everything just feels really short.
possible, since very little happened in the last episode.
Yeah.
The calm before the storm. Or maybe they didn't get enough coverage. And so, yeah, you feel like you're missing some information with the shots and they're just using the ones they've got.
Yeah. We'll come to shots in a second. our final thoughts of the episode. So, as it reaches its conclusion, Lex attempts to rescue Bray in a commandeered buggy, but immediately crashes over a little dune, leaving them both unresponsive. Trudy arrives epically on horseback with Brady, looking triumphant as a resistant Danni is knocked to the ground, while on a distant hillside, a troubled-looking Ebony watches on. Panel, go at it.
It was a lot.
Where to begin?
Lex, where is your brain?
It was lovely. Come on.
Save your wife or save someone who's actually freaking useful.
He went for the tribe leader. He went for the tribe leader.
The tribe leader he doesn't believe in?
I don't know. I don't.
He went for the most useless person he knows.
Wow.
She's not wrong.
Wow.
Sorry.
I feel like Patsy did more in this fight than Bray did.
Oh my gosh!
Bray spent the entire fight unconscious again.
Because that's what he does.
You know, having Bray.
Okay.
I'm sorry, hon, but yeah.
Bray accidentally moving his knee and accidentally hit a switch that veered them off.
That's
the
what
road.
happened. Yeah. Like it was a total accident.
Okay, first when you see Bray, the aftermath, and Bray's knocked out, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? You couldn't let him fight even here. You had to take him. Is his reputation as a pretty boy so important to you that you couldn't show him fighting here? You had to conveniently, because there's no way Bray could have lost this battle on his own. Oh no, not the self-insert. He had to have been unconscious. He would have turned the battle if he'd been awake, guys. So the second I saw that, I was like, for real, again, Bray. Again, you have plausible deniability that none of this was your fault because you were asleep during the whole thing.
You were asleep.
And then when Lex shows up, I'm like, okay, was this the plan? Is this the only thing that makes sense about Lex having the go-kart? Was he supposed to always swoop in and save one person if things went wrong? Why was he with the go-kart? He did nothing through this fight. What was the point of the go-kart?
I think he just took the go-kart to get there faster.
Yeah.
But why? He did nothing. He didn't even untie boats this time.
He got scared. He has PTSD. He saw what happened last time.
Plan. What was the plan?
I don't know what the plan was. I'm sorry.
I don't know what the plan was, Maggie.
At least before this, he was all about, I need to go save my wife.
Listen. If he would have saved Tai-San, we wouldn't have been able to have this entire next season, 2 seasons, whatever seasons we get, of Lex dying to find her. And, like, we wouldn't have, like, I mean, he's got to set up this where they have this reunion, you know, and then he loses her again, like, for good this time, right?
Fair. Fine. I can agree with that.
He couldn't rescue her this time. It wasn't her turn.
No, but then why not, get out the person he sees as one of his best friends?
Okay.
Because Alice would have been useful.
Right, but Bray was the leader.
Yeah, again, he doesn't care about that, though.
I know, but it's just, I maybe, okay. I'm trying to justify this without, I can't. I'm done. All right, you got it. Go ahead.
Maggie, I'm with you. I'm willing to buy him saving Bray. Fine. Lex does lots of stupid things. What's one more? It's fine.
Darn it. I guess you thought he should die last season too. It's fine.
I'm like, okay, he tried to save Bray from Danni. I mean, and now he's trying to save him Danni again. I don't know. I know why this is happening. I understand. I can even somewhere in my brain be like, he reasoned that Bray getting the leader is their Mallrats' hope. Getting Bray. Whatever happens, the Mallrats won't lose hope if Bray is still alive. Even if Lex doesn't get it and resents it, thinks it's stupid. He's not dumb. He does get that the Mallrats require Bray for some reason.
Yes.
So even if that was his reason for getting Bray. But it is funny that he rescues Bray only to immediately regret it and keep going on about his wife. And it's like, you could have grabbed her.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We wouldn't get this angsty, Lex next whatever few episodes. I don't know. Half a season. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Saving Bray is less confusing to me than what was the freaking plan? Like,
well, the plan definitely wasn't to crash on a small rock. Okay.
I mean, please, let's talk about how badly shot that scene was. Please go.
Okay. It is a go-kart. He should have been able to clear the rock. Anyway, they could have done better. I mean, okay. I personally think that like they had to have gone a little bit of a distance and then crashed. It wasn't like immediate, right? Because how would they not know like right then that they were dead if they were like 10 feet away? The
coverage doesn't do a very good job of showing that. Like you can't. It's hard to get the image of how far away the crash is to where the group is. I have to say they got bad coverage. Can you see it
with the cover? Like when they show Ebony, can you see the go-kart?
No, you know what I mean. It's
not in this scene.
I don't know if it's because I don't know. Maybe it's possible the boys were not in the go-kart for this stunt. That's possible because when it rolls over, it's from behind. You can't verify that it is the actors, and it might have had to been done separately. Due to the fact that it was a dangerous stunt and. But there are no wide shots to show it within the frame so that you have an idea of where everybody is. So I have a feeling the stunt had to be done separately. And for once, they didn't use the young actors to do it.
Yeah.
But it's comical and it shouldn't be funny.
They could have done it like...
It's supposed to be a triumphant moment that in this moment, Lex saves his leader despite all of their differences.
Yep.
And it's supposed to be that last ring of hope. And the way it's filmed, you shouldn't be laughing when the go-kart tips over.
No.
You should be like, oh no, we thought they might get away. You're not supposed to be like, what? Flintstones.
Yeah,
like what?
If you have you should, when you see it, there shouldn't be anything in your brain that says, oh yeah, they're dead. They have helmets on. What they do, bonk.
I laughed so hard watching this 20 years ago. It's never stopped being funny.
It goes, it stops, it rolls, it just tips over.
It's like a really good dad joke. It's dumb, but you still laugh every time your dad says it.
I think it's the fact that there's no time to kind of process in your head what's going on and get that kind of bit of hope before it's all over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. And I get it. I absolutely understood that part. It was nice to have, and then having Ebony looking down on everything.
Iconic.
Yes, she looks so good.
And I also think that it's comical because we just watched the crash. We see the reaction shots. We see the boys unconscious. Kudos to the kids. They look genuinely concerned. Like this was a bad crash. Like Ella Wilkes' expression looks like she just watched Bray blow up. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like selling a wrestling move.
Did great. But I think it's hilarious that right after this, Trudy rides up on a white horse. The horse wasn't even startled by the crash.
Nope.
Like, where did they come from? How long were they on the horse before they came into view?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be so funny. I love that the crash didn't even disturb their plans. It's like kind of saying something during a wedding and everyone just kind of looks at you but goes right back to the wedding. That's what the crash is. It's just like, really, dude? Now? And then everybody just goes back to saying the vows like you didn't say anything. That's what the crash was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I have to say, I know it's strange her riding in on that white horse, but I do love that they did that. They're bringing her in.
Yeah,
the symbolism, they're bringing her in, the Supreme Mother above all others on that white horse, with the symbolic behind the white horse being, like the purity that Jaffa wants to see in the Supreme Mother. They picked it nicely, and I can see why they did it, because Jaffa never plans anything without a reason.
I'm still convinced he wanted to ride the horse.
Oh, for sure. That's canon now.
That was his idea, and to have a white horse.
And that's why he dislikes Trudy so much. This is where his dislike starts.
He was supposed to exit on the horse.
Yes, this was his moment. and she
But
stole it
someone
from
was like,
him.
"Oh my gosh, I think that would be so amazing at the Supreme," and then he had to go
Yes.
with it.
Yep,
Like,
he had no choice.
That's why
whatever.
she's so
Fine.
triumphant.
But I'm gonna complain the whole time.
right? I swear, he is like a resentful understudy. I think it's fine. It's dramatic. It's very Jaffa.
Yeah, you know, and he has that sense of flair.
I just, it's funny to think of this is what Trudy's been preparing for in the background while all this crazy stuff was going on. You know, bathing
And places.
being dressed. Exactly. Like, all I can think is when the horse shows up, they should have seen the horse coming down the beach, considering how close she is when they finally look up and she's on the horse. And it just makes me laugh, picturing them hearing the battle as they're walking along out of sight on, you know, towards it, knowing, don't worry, we're fine. Like, it's totally cool. Like, until she's within sight. That's funny to me. Like, I don't think it's supposed to be, but it looks very comical. And I love I love the iconic shot of Ebony looking down on it. She looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Just, it's an epic shot. And it's a good wide shot of what she can see. It's very Mad Max. I like that, you know, the Dune buggies surrounding the Mallrats. They're defeated. They're on their knees. It's a great shot. Like, haha, you know, like, it's great. I don't like the unceremonious exit of Danni. That's the last shot we ever get of Danni. And it's not even conclusive of what just happened to her. But it's like, you can only think that Danny's dead. She just got hit in the stomach and the back with sharp swords.
Yeah. And it definitely isn't the way I wanted her to go out. I mean,
the Mallrat reaction to that, the only one who reacts is Dal, and his reaction is sort of like, I tried, crap, that sucks. Like, that's his reaction to what looks like she just got her torso sliced open, and then she's, that's it? Like, I didn't like Danni. She didn't deserve to go out this way.
Yeah. But to have the boys, because, you know, next to Dal, we see Jack instantly trying to get towards Danny at first. Just have them at least try. I'm glad they added that shot.
She deserved better than that. That's all I'm saying. And it's never conclusive because, you know, the very next episode, the season premiere of season 3, they're going to act like they didn't just see that happen. Like they don't know what happened to Danny. They're literally going to say things like, well, she was with us when we were on the beach. I'm like, yeah, and she got practically sliced in half. Nobody remembers watching that. You were in the shot when it happened, and you're gonna all talk like you just don't know what happened to her. Like, come on.
Yeah,
it is on brand for character disappearances.
Right, just have one character be like, I saw her go down, like, and the Chosen attacked her. I don't know if she was all right. Like, that's all you gotta say, but don't act like you didn't see what frickin' happened when it's one of the last shots of the finale that you saw it. You were watching when she was attacked. And I love the cliffhanger ending. I really do. Even the fact that it takes place around some cliffs. I mean, that's kind of funny. It's one of my favorite cliffhangers I've ever watched, where I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to know what happens next. It's, like I said, it was satisfying for me because this is the way it should have gone. This is how the season should have ended. I don't think it could have ended any other way and been satisfying. And it just pulled together everything we saw, everything that the characters did, the consequences of their actions. It wasn't a twist because it wasn't just like out of the blue. It was a well-earned, this is where it was always going to go. I loved the fact that season 2 is the only season that was so well planned from beginning to end. You know, it was just a well-written book. It's got its problems, but yeah, I never feel like this ending makes me feel like nothing was a waste of my time. Everything had a purpose. Everything had a reason for happening. It was just a cascade of dominoes. This was the only place it was going to lead. And I really appreciate the effort that went into this season to tell a solid story with a point, beginning to end. And Jaffa's just sitting there so triumphantly. When the first episode, the premiere, we see him and we're like, who is this weirdo? To hear. And it's just like, oh, wow.
Yeah, he truly is the perfect villain.
And that's why I maintain that season 2 is the best written season, you know, because of its point and its story and its message all the way through. They really don't go too far off task of what they're trying to convey. the downfall of heroes, how they got there, what they did to themselves, how their actions affected everyone around them. And it just branched out, and there was no stopping it at some point. And what a great lesson to teach kids. Granted, a lot of kids may not have gotten it, but appreciated that it was there. And none of the other seasons will ever had this, ever had this kind of solid, cohesive storytelling where everything these kids did had a consequence.
If anything, I hoped someone picked up on the fact that you don't treat people the way they treated Trudy. It will come back to haunt you if they can.
But I mean, it's not just that. I mean, granted, that obviously matters, but it's even small things. Friendships being ruined and changed because of how people treat each other. It's how the fractures, and then you don't have those people, you can't depend on them later because of the fractures that you caused by this action way back here. They never disappear. They're just ripples. They just grow bigger and bigger and wider. Everything these guys did, everything they did led to here.
It was a lot of nuance, wasn't it? It wasn't just, black and white, this is good, this is bad. It was really going into the details of it and all the different kind of outcomes.
And even though I've hated the Mallrats for most of season 2, at the same time, I don't feel like they were just written like they're dumb now, they're stupid, they're bad, and that's why bad things are happening to them. As Matt said, there's a nuance to why they behave the way they do. Even if I disapprove of the way they're behaving and I disapprove of their actions make sense for who they are, where they are in their lives, what they're thinking, what it is they want, their ability to achieve that and deal with other people. So they're just not cardboard cutouts messing up. They're humans. It is a nice exploration of, well, we're a mess. People are a mess. What happens when we achieve our goal? What happens? We have the chance to run the show. Well, we're a mess. So it's going to be messy. And this is what happened. And
this is each step that leads us down that path.
Right. Like every single one of these Mallrats got to show how ugly they could be. Even if they were very heroic in season 1, they got to show how beautiful they could be, even if they were very ugly in season 1, and just on. And a lot of shades.
Yeah.
So yeah, even though I hated them for much of this season, I don't hate them in general, I guess.
Right.
And yeah, I want them to come back from this. I want them to find a way to grow from this and defeat the Chosen. Did you learn your lesson? Okay.
I don't know. As for me, just as a big Trudy fan, those final moments of the season just feel very satisfying,
Just take it.
It's actually more heartbreaking for me because it's like she's a part of a cult. Trudy's not happy. This isn't a happy ending for Trudy. This is horrible. And this did this, like she needs to be rescued.
Yes, he does, but for this moment, she can just have her moment being above them, as short as that moment may be.
That's fair.
So that brings Series 2, Episode 52 to a close. Thank you very much to the panel, and if you'd like to take part in a future episode of the podcast, please just send us a message on our Facebook page or on our website, thetribe.co.uk. So we'll see you next time for a brand new spanking Series 3. Until then, bye.
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 Bye.